and gentlemen, broadcasting live from the Scintillation State Studio in Northern California, home of Ukulele J Barbecue. Get your wood fired up and your charcoal burning as we get our smoke on with the worldwide streaming Strum Pluckin Good live.
Oh yeah, we're going live, baby. Smoke on. April 11th. We got Gason Nelson in the house, top chef. This is going to be an incredible interview. This is something I've been waiting on for a long time. Hope you guys enjoy it. Today is going to be an incredible day. We're going to talk about all sorts of great stuff in the personal chef industry. And thank you all for joining on youtube.com/ukulelejbarbecue. This is Strum Pluckin Good Live. We are the live show on YouTube, and we are going to be streaming on Instagram as well. The people on Instagram, though, can't really see us, so we're trying to get this going on YouTube and making sure that we build this channel up. This is going to be the channel for exclusive and very unique interviews throughout the cooking community, Top Chef barbecue community, Instagram community, and I'm going to be also doing this live on the road with my Smoke On Baby Tour coming up. I will be down in Southern California in May. Going to be down with Dave Butcher Supply in Santa Monica, Marina del Rey. I've got a bunch of Instagrammers will meet me down there. We'll hopefully go live with them as well, get to meet a bunch of people that maybe some of you haven't seen, and we'll get them on the show as well. So for today's show, I want to thank my sponsors again. Without them, this would not be possible. Dr. Bill's Candy Maple Syrup, Naughty Wood Barbecue for their pellets, Dat Sauce, Dat Ketchup, Ocean State Pepper Company, fantastic seasonings, George Earl's Barbecue Sauce, Billy's Bacon, Voodoo Roasters Coffee, Brala's Best Garlic Whip, and the Meat Stick. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on an incredible person. I was going to read all of his accolades, and it would be very long. However, if you watch the post on Instagram, you'll see all of his information. So today I want to welcome Chef Gason Nelson. Chef, thanks for coming to the show. You're live on with all the followers and the viewers today. How you doing?
What's happening, man? How you doing, man? Thank you, first of all. Thank you so much for letting me do this with you, man. This is kind of cool. I know you and I have been talking about this for a while, man. It's getting our schedules together, man. But I've been watching you, man. I've been watching you in your interviews and stuff like that. So I'm definitely excited, man. I'm definitely excited.
Yeah, well, I'm really glad that you're on today, and I'm going to flip the light on here for, there we go. I've been watching you for a long time and your feeds, and you cook amazing stuff, and you have an incredible story. You know, I've met a lot of people in life, and when I find somebody that's really interesting, I always love to learn about them, what they're doing, how do they get to where they're at and be so successful. People know I love cooking. I was going to go in the cooking industry, and my life kind of changed paths. I never did it, but I've always been cooking, and I love it. I love barbecue and other cooking as well. And one of the things that I think, the viewers like to know is, who you are as a person, and we'll talk about a lot of the stuff you've done. But I want to start going back to your childhood, where you were raised, and, was that where your cooking influence started?
Well, I'm from New Orleans, man. I mean, this is home. I'm in New Orleans now, this is home. But I'm a military brat, man. I'm a military brat. My dad was in the Army. I'm originally from New Orleans, but I'm a military brat, and I've been all over the world, man. You know what I mean? So I think cooking found me. Cooking found me. My mom cooked to provide for us and family. She was a great cook. She would cook Monday through Friday. And then on the weekends when my dad was in the Army. My dad did 25 years in the Army. But my dad on the weekends cooked, man. You know what I mean? It was one of the things where it was just watch our dads in the kitchen, and everything had to be perfect. And everything had to take time. He had to have the best this, he had to have the best that. You couldn't get in his way. I don't care how long it took. If he was grilling, smoking, making gumbo or what have you. You know what I mean? He paid attention to detail. It was all about what he was doing. So I saw that, and I was like, man, this man sure takes a long time to make XYZ, whatever it was he was making. But yeah, me and my brother would get mad because he was hungry, he was ready to eat. But the end product, man, the results, man, was just unbelievable because he definitely took his time, So I graduated from Leesville High. That's like I graduated from Leesville. That's like 3.5, 4 hours away from you ever heard of Leesville?
No, have not.
Leesville, Louisiana, right. So I was there, and I joined the military there because I wanted to be like my dad. My dad's kind of like my idol. My dad is like my role model. My dad is, my dad was in the house, and he raised me and my brother very well. He was a great provider. He was there as a great role model. So I said, okay, I want to be like my dad, you know. And it was so funny that when it was time for me to pick my job, cook came up. I wasn't even thinking nothing about being a chef or nothing like that, but cook came up. So I was like, huh. And it was giving, I guess there was a shortage or something at the time of cooks in the military, and it was giving $5,000 bonus, the $5,000 bonuses away. Yeah, I figured, man, I'm 15 years old now. You said, well, I'm gonna give you $5, and I'm like, well, how hard is it to cook? You know what I mean? I'm like, it can't be that hard. And then it's just funny how life, you know, how life lines, life. It's funny how life just things line up for you. So I said, you know, because I was looking at that 5,000 at 18, so I was like, well, I'm gonna get this bonus going there, but we're gonna cook. But when I got in the military, I started cooking. I was like, okay, this is it. You know, I mean, I could tell that this is what I was supposed to be doing. For some reason, you know, yeah, I had a little summer job at Burger King or something like that, but I never really cooked. But when I got in the military, I was like, okay, this is cool. I can do this. I can definitely do this. So, and then from there, you know, I just, you know, was in the Army for 5 years, traveled all a bunch of places, like also with my dad. Then it was time for me to get out. I got out the military, cooked in a bunch of places down here in New Orleans, all in the French quarters and just all over on the West Bank. I mean, I cooked everywhere out here in New Orleans. Then I was like, man, I gotta do something. Everybody kept saying that. They kept telling me I had that it. I'm like, I didn't want to hear that nonsense, man. I was like, whatever. They're like, you got that it, man. You need to do something with this. You know, you got it. Because everything is just cooking for me was just common sense. I don't know. It was just easy. I don't know, and I'm not saying
too easy, right? Too easy.
Too easy, man. I ain't saying that trying to practice. I just knew that's what I was supposed to be doing for some strange reason. So then I went down there. I went to Delgado here, man, down here in New Orleans, a culinary program. I got a full scholarship. You got the James Beard scholarship.
Wow.
They paid the whole ride, man, to go to culinary school. And that's how things just started. Like I said, things just started lining up.
So that started your path was that scholarship, that James Beard scholarship. And you're a 2 times scholarship winner. What does that mean, and how did you get it? Can anybody just apply, and is it something anybody can do, or do you have to have, you know, is it for specifically military, GI Bill kind of stuff? How does that work?
Check this out, man. I got time to tell the story. I got time.
We got time. We're going on an hour. We got 50 minutes to go.
Check it out. So look, I'm like, I was dating this girl at the time, and she was really big into education, and she's just like, you really need to go to school. You're too good. This is just, you're just wasting away, da da da. And I'm like, I don't want to worry about no college. She kept saying, I'm telling you. She said, well, do me a favor. I said, what's that? She says, let's just go down there and let's just go see. Let's go get a pamphlet. Right. I said, let's go get a pamphlet. Let's take a walk around the campus. I'm like, all right, I don't have time doing that, man. You know what I'm saying? I said, well, just shut her up. I went down there. I said, shut her up. I went down there. And then, man, I had no money for culinary school. I wasn't thinking about culinary school, nothing like that. I wasn't thinking about it. I had no money. I said, I'll tell you what, this seemed pretty cool. It was very inviting. I remember talking to this lady named Janet. Janet, yeah. She was I guess she was a receptionist. She told me information, gave me, and she sold me on it. I said, well, look, I don't have no money to come to culinary school, so I'm not even really thinking about it. I said, I'll come to a semester, check it out, and then I'll go about my business. Shut her up, go to culinary school for about a semester, and go about my business. So I go to culinary school, man, and it was like too easy, man. It was just like so much fun, and I loved it. And it was like, I said, well, I know I can't afford this, so I'm not trying to get in debt with student loans and nothing like that. One day, I happened to go into the office, and they had this thing on the board for James Beard scholarships and stuff like that. And I'm like, why would they give me one? You know what I mean? I was like, all right, let me just fill it out. So I sat there and I filled it out. And I said, okay, you know what? Then it just what cooking means to you, and da 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 da. And I said, what cooking means to me, because what cooking done for me, let me back up. You know, I had a son. And a lot of people don't know this. I had a son who had leukemia, and he passed away.
Oh man, I did not know that. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
I had no idea.
That's fine. He was diagnosed at 6 months, and he passed away at 19 months. So during that time, he was at the Children's Hospital in San Antonio, and during that time, going through chemo, and they telling us that he's going to die, and he ain't, he's not going to make it. Just enjoy him. anytime I was in the kitchen, you had to deal with all of that. But every time I was in the kitchen, I was all right. I was good. I was comfortable. I was at peace. I was where I was supposed to be, and anything that was going on in the world didn't bother me. Because I was in the kitchen. You know, I was just in there doing my thing, and I just felt like I was in the right place. As a matter of fact, people that work with me was like, man, how do you? They would look at me. I swear, I remember the day the chef was like, I look at you when you in here, man. I don't know how you do this, man. I don't know how you do this. And I was like, man, I would be no good right now. I'm like, look, what am I supposed to do, man? You know, what can I do? So I'm in my comfort zone. Just don't kick me out of this kitchen. Let me stay in this kitchen. Let me do what I got to do. So I kind of told that story when I wrote my application for the James Beard Scholarship. So I'm not thinking about it. Semester's almost over. I filled out that thing, or I mailed it in, and then I just forgot about it. And I was at this place in Mary, not too far from where I live at now, called Sunray Grill. And I remember, like yesterday, it was during lunch, I got a phone call, and a lady named Caroline Stewart from the James Beard House called me, and she goes, hey, got to meet the Gason Nelson. And I was like, yeah, this is Gason. I was right in the middle of a busy lunch. I couldn't really talk. I said, yeah, this is Gason. What's that? She goes, yo, we just want to tell you, man, we read your story, read about how what cooking did for you, your son. She says, man, I mean, there wasn't a dry eye in this building, man. She says, that was unbelievable. That was unbelievable. We could tell that cooking is really your passion and what you love to do, and da-da-da-da. And she said, well, how much is your schooling and this and that, da-da-da. And I was like, well, I got, I'm a first year student, da-da-da. School costs this much, da-da-da. Check this out, Jake. Check this out. Ukulele, Jake. I said, well, it costs this much, da-da-da-da. She goes, what we're going to do. I think they only gave like, I don't know, maybe 10, 15, I don't know. It was like a real low. They had 10,000 applicants. They only gave like 10,000 applicants, she told me. They only gave, I don't know, maybe 20. I don't know how many they gave. It was a real small number. She said, this is what we want to do. We want to pay for your whole schooling.
Wow.
I was like, what? Pay for your whole schooling. Ukulele J. I had enough money to where every month, I can't make this up. I get goosebumps to even tell you, every month I would get an extra $800 check to go in my pocket, because that's how much they gave me for schooling. Wow. And I had $800 left over, man. So everything was taken care of, you know what I mean? So I went to culinary school of food, James Beard Scholarship. But see, the thing is, that's how it works. When you line yourself up and you're doing what you're supposed to do, things happen. You know, I couldn't have written that. I couldn't have thought that out. I didn't even go to scholarship. I didn't even go to culinary school to even go that long. But when I went there, we were supposed to go, and it was just amazing, and I loved it, and I had some fun, and I made great friends, and I'm indebted to Delgado. It might be a small community college or something, ACI like in New York, and Johnson Wells out there, wherever they're at, stuff like that. It's a small culinary school out here, but I love them to death, man, and I made some great friends, connections. I can go up there right now. Well, no, it's Sunday. I don't think it'll be open, but I can go there right now. Anything. When I say anything I need, they're gonna give Chef Dick something. You know what I mean?
That's fantastic. You know, that it seems like everything you touch turns to gold, man. And I mean, you were on TV shows Chopped, and you made it to the final round. Do you remember what episode that was? What season and episode that was?
Yeah, it was season 6, man. I think that was season 6.
So what'd you cook? What were the ingredients? Remember? And then what was the outcome? Tell us what the outcome was.
Man, check this out, man. Let me everybody ask this story, man. Check this out. Man, I want something else too. I play tennis. You know, I'm a tennis fanatic, man. I play a lot of tennis. I was on the tennis court. Where was that? Where was I at? I was in Pontchartrain Park. When they had a tennis facility out there playing tennis, and I got a phone call. Yo, can you speak to Gason? I was like, yeah, man, I'm right in the middle of a tennis match now. I'm like, it's Gason. She goes, yeah, this is Gason. We're from the Food Network Top now. I'm like, man, I think I even hung up. I'm like, I ain't got time for this nonsense. I'm busy, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, no. And I think I hung up. They called back. No. I said, man, I'm very busy right now. I said, what is this about? I said, I don't have no time for no application. I'm doing no auditions. I don't have time for all of it. I'm busy. No. I said, now, if you tell me I'm on the show, I'll do it. Well, she says, no. You're definitely on the show. This is not an audition. We would love to have you. Wow. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So
no audition at all. Just you're on the show.
No. I mean, no audition, but you had to go to the interview to talk about yourself and for them to get your personality and stuff like that. So they did all that, which was cool, and I had fun doing it. Then we went. it was time to go to New York, and I remember that. Flew out to New York. It was cool. Flew out there.
Wow.
Um, that morning we had to be at the Food Network Stadium, whatever you call it, and it was on, man. It was on, man. It took 14 hours, man, to shoot a 1 hour show. 14 hours, bro.
14 hours. Wow.
14 hours shoot a 1 hour show, man. But it was. I'm gonna tell you like this though, man. On Food Network Chop, no, that I the Food Network Chop, man. But I don't care what you watch, what you see on TV. If people tell you it's fake, it's staged, and all that. The cooking part, when they say pull that basket, the cooking part real. That clock ain't no joke, man.
Oh, really?
That clock,
It's going.
not no, man. That clock ain't no joke, bro.
Are you running around? Are you sweating, like looking for stuff and everything?
That clock will kick your butt, man. So you can't go home. So the first round, I think I did. It was Chinese spare ribs and it was and green beans or something like that. Then one round was a canned spaghetti, towel fish and stuff. I made it to the final round.
Yeah.
Which was cool. I mean, but I was pretty confident. But I also made a great relationship out of being on Chop. The guy that beat me named Scott out of Vegas was man. Him and I still. I call Scott right now, man. Scott won't pick up the phone, man. Scott's a good dude, man. I could truly, seriously say I might not have won Chop, but I made a true friend from being on Chop.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because I talked to some another person that was on Chopped, and I don't think they really talked to many people at all. And that was one of my questions was, did you make friends with anybody on the show, and are you still talking today? And that's kind of cool that you made a friendship because that's kind of what I like doing is networking, keeping a friend, and talking to people, and just somebody you can have for life to always talk to about anything, food or whatever. So that's really cool. Is he like you? Is he a professional chef now? Does he have a restaurant? Do you know what he's doing?
He worked for Emerald's, like Emerald Stadium or something like that in Vegas. What did the person say that you talked to before? Did he say he built relationships with people that were on there? Did he say
he didn't? No, he didn't really keep in touch with people and didn't know them and went on the show. And I asked him afterwards too, like did he talk to the judges? And I guess they wouldn't let you talk. Did they let you talk to the judges at all, or was it kind of like off limits?
Oh, indeed. You can't get close to him.
Can't get close to him. That amazes me because I think you're on there. You'd be able to afterwards shake hands. Hey, how you doing? But it's a business, right? I know it is, and it's not about making friends with people. So
they've been sitting there all day too, man. Whenever it's time to go, they're ready to go. You know what I mean? You gotta be there. You gotta be at the stadium. Like you gotta be at the facility at like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Wow.
Then now don't get wrong. Now they feed you good, but everywhere you go, there's somebody with you. They don't want you to be alone. They don't want you to be by yourself because they don't want you to find a way to cheat or nothing like that.
How do you cheat on Chop? I guess if you know the ingredients. What were your 3 ingredients and what got you Chopped? What was the comments?
Man, God, no, man.
Come on, it's okay, man.
It was like pancake batter. It was like soy sauce, chocolate, and it was Vienna sausage, man. And that was in a dessert round, man. And
it was a dessert round.
Yeah, it's Vienna sausage and dessert round. I kicked myself in the butt, man. Because on the flight home, I thought about it. Matter of fact, later on that night, I thought about a bunch of stuff.
Right.
I played safe because I was going so strong. I was going strong in the competition. I felt really good. So
right.
We got to the third round. I was like, okay, you know what? I've been on the road, so I don't, I think I might kind of have this. So I'm gonna let my man Scott mess up. I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna hope he burns something, drop something, leave something, don't break up something, don't do something. I'm gonna play it safe because I was going strong, because they liked every round I did. So when I got a dessert round, I played it safe. And Scott came out pretty strong. I'm not gonna lie, he came out pretty strong. What I should have done, I should have taken the Vienna sausage, I should have candied them. I should have chopped them up, candied them, and I should have put them in pancake batter. And that pancake batter added a little baking powder and fried them, make like Vienna sausage beignets. And I should have taken that soy sauce and melted it with the chocolate and then drizzled it on top. And I think I would have got it, man. But
hindsight's 20/20 is a bitch, isn't it?
No, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? I played it safe, man. I thought, don't ever second guess yourself. And I'm sitting up there thinking, man, and then when it was time to go, and I'm sitting there like, man, make this, make Vienna sausage pancake, make. Like, you know what? No, man. I got this thing. One, play it safe. So I second guess myself. So that's one thing I try not to do no more in life, second guessing myself.
Just go for it, man. Since you got, go for it, right? Don't second guess. Yeah.
And in fact, they told me they said they told me that they said They said you played it too safe, and they said you came out too strong, and we could tell you could have done more with that versus what you did. And they were right. They were
It's
right.
all right. Hey, what an experience though to say you were on TV shows Chopped. That's an honor just getting on the show. I mean, I know a lot of guys I've talked to are like, oh, I'd like to be on Chopped or Pitmasters or things like that, and people ask, how do you do it? I wonder how you do it. And it's like, I don't know how you do it. People, you're the second person I talked to who's been on Chopped, and they got that phone call, man, and it's like, how did it happen? I don't know. Like, just it happened, and they saw you somehow, heard about you, but you went from that to cooking for Hollywood's A-list, and I'm really excited the fact that you've cooked for some amazing people. On your website, it's got all the information on who you cook for. The big thing caught me was kind of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the Kardashians. How did those people find you? And I'm kind of curious, like especially with the Kardashians, how was it cooking? Are you at somebody's house when this happens? Obviously, it's a private event, or maybe it's a party somewhere, and you're the personal chef. How do you plan for something like that? And I'm kind of curious, what did you cook for them?
Well, first of all, it's something like that, man. Like I tell people all the time, man, I want to cook for this person, that person. Then, man, a lot of it's luck. Love is being at the right place at the right time, man. I was gonna be honest, man. There's no template that say you go do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. I don't know people that walk around and just knock on doors.
No.
I just tell people this: you just gotta be ready. You gotta be ready because once you're ready, and I'm a firm believer in prayer and stuff like that. If you're ready, but the thing is, when you get that call, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. You know what I mean? Because you don't know you'll get that call again. And it's one of those situations when you're in, and it's word of mouth, and you're at these events and you're at these places, and one person sees you, and then it goes like that. So for me, it was just a word of mouth. I was at the right place at the right time. Met somebody that knew somebody, and got me a job with one of the Pelicans, and then it just was a snowball effect like that.
So the Pelicans player was your first. That was your first gig that got you started.
And then after that, I got Aaron Brooks, and from Aaron Brooks, he was a quarterback for the Saints, and I worked for Reggie Bush, and then it was just so on and so on and so on, and so it was just being around, being the right, positioning yourself the right way. That's what you got to do, and you got to believe it's going to happen. Number one. Number two, I tell everybody this: people, I want to be there, and I look at them, I'm like, if you got that call today, would you be ready? That's the thing. I don't forget the celebrity and forget all of that. Because the call's going to come. If the call is going to come, it might not come when you want it to come. It might not come when you think it might not come when you think it's supposed to come. It's not going to come how you think it's going to come. You know what I mean? You could be somewhere, someone called you up somewhere, you're like, man, I'm not going over there. That's dumb. Ain't somebody in there knows somebody ever passed through. Hey, man, do me a favor. Hey, take my card. Boom, boom, boom. You know what? I was down in such and such, man. I just chef. He seemed like he's pretty cool, and just give him a call. And that's how it happens. So when that call comes, you gotta be ready. You gotta be able to kill it. You gotta be able to go in there and know what you're doing. I know everybody sees a lot of stuff on social media, and they think it's easy. It's not easy, man. It is not easy. Know what you're doing, and you gotta realize too, is when you're in that kitchen, you're the answer. You know what I mean? It's not like you're in a big restaurant and something goes on and you can bounce something off of somebody. Hey man, hey man, what do you think about that? No, you are the answer. You got to figure it out. You know what I mean? You got to figure it out. You got to make it happen. You got to call somebody. You got to do something. You got to make it work.
Now, do they tell you what to cook? Do they ask you like, hey, we want a steak dish or meat? Like, how does that work? What's your engagement with the client? And I'm talking about any of your client because you cook for people that obviously people haven't heard about, but when you get the call from Dwayne "The Rock" and he's like, hey man, I want you to come cook me some barbecue for me and the family or the guys, like what happens? Do you have like a script where it's like, okay, I'm going to ask these questions and tune in what I'm cooking? Or is it just like, come cook me dinner and whatever you want to serve is fine? Like, how does that work?
Well, no, you just fill them out. Like, so I've been at this for a long time, man. So you just, like you said, just in the beginning, you fill them out. Hey, what do you like? What do you, boom, boom, boom. And then you learn. And in the beginning, I know you're probably going to be nervous, but in the beginning, just fill your client out, find out what they don't like. What do they not like? Like I had a client who, he hated the Holy Trinity, onion, celery, bell peppers. He hated the small little things, said it tastes like sand and stuff like that. But down here in Louisiana, you can't make nothing without the Holy Trinity. You got to have the onion, celery, bell pepper, stuff like that. So you got to find ways not to jeopardize the flavor, the taste of whatever it is you're making, but find ways to put it in there. You know what I mean? So you talk to the client, you figure out what it is that they like. We like this, we love this, and they'll kind of give you a general idea, and then you got to make it work. You got to make it work. And then in the beginning, they'll tell you, okay, yeah, that was cool. oh, I didn't like that, or I didn't like this, or they'll say, you say, what would you like me to cook? What's your favorite? Da, da, da. And you try to stay around that. You know, you try don't go off on the deep end until later on until they got you, until you got them. Just stay in that little area. Say, hey, okay, you like a steak, you like a potato, you like a da da da. You gonna hit them with all that later on because you know what you got in you. You know what you got in your arsenal. You know you gonna hit them with that later on. But in the beginning, just say, hey, if you like a steak, you like potato, you like green beans, just stay in that area, and then you give them that, make it good.
Now, how does it work? Because
once they know you can cook and stuff like that, then you hit them with the ah. Then you hit them with the ah. Then you hit them with the ah. You know what I mean? And then they'll be like, oh, that was pretty cool. Then you open up their palate. Then you open up their imagination. Then they know something else too. Is like, boom, when I worked for Ricky Bush, you know, we started out like that. And you know, you go to places, they send me pictures. Chef, I met da da da. Can you make this? Chef, I never had this. Can you make that? Chef, I'm over here for this game, and they had these Philly cheesesteak spring rolls. Can you make that? So you gotta just make it work. So, but I say that to say you already learned that, you already built that trust up in them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, if I'd have walked out there and say, okay, we want to have some whoop the whoop with a blah 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 blah. You're like, man, I don't even know what that is. You know, I don't even, you know what I mean? So don't do that. Just baby steps, man. Baby steps.
Well, if somebody calls you and says, I want this, this, and this, and you say to yourself, oh man, I've never cooked this. I don't know what the hell I do. Are you like Googling? Are you like, how do you figure it out? Because you ask something. I mean, you're so experienced now, it's probably no big deal. But I mean, like, I Google, like, how do you do it? Kick up some YouTubes.
In the beginning, something's always, and cooking, man, and savory cooking, something's always related to something. You know what I mean? Yeah. Something is always related to something. And so if you didn't make this, if you never made that, what I always do, if I haven't made this, I know, okay, boom, this is kind of, this remind me of a bolognese or whatever, da da da. Boom, so you stay in that area. And then nowadays, you got so much avenues to get information. You know, you Google, you YouTube, you read it, you whatever, look on, you know, boom, 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 okay. And say, okay, oh, I see. And always use that stuff to get an idea. Don't try to duplicate it, just use it to get an idea. Oh, they said this, okay, it's lean, it doesn't have a lot of fat. Okay, that's like da-da-da. You know, I had people give me deer one time, you know, and I was in Alaska with my dad. You know, my dad was in Alaska for a while in the military, and I got introduced to moose and deer and stuff like that. That's very, very lean. So you got to find ways to learn to cook and stuff like that. So when I'm back here or New Orleans, wherever, I'll get something I can say, oh, okay, I relate that to when I was in Alaska and I was cooking at deer. It's mainly doesn't have a lot of fat. So this is how you got to cook it. You know what I mean? So it's always, everything's always related to something. You know what I mean? And that's what you're doing. Nothing's hard. I think cooking, I think we complicated. I think we overthink things. I think that I got a little something I say too easy. It's too easy. I mean, it's not hard, man. It's not hard at all.
Yeah, some things look pretty intricate. You know, on TV, see these chefs are making these sauces, and I used to make a thing called gravy, and they call it a roux, and it's like, you know, all these terms you don't know, and some of it is simple, some seems to be complex, but I guess, you know, once you have experience like yourself and you've cooked enough, you can put pretty much anything together. I mean, that's what I think what it's about. Making your own, right? That's what's fun, is making your own, not copying somebody else, but taking the idea, which is what I typically like to do, is, you know, make my own stuff, like my own sauces. And, you know, you and I think we first exchanged with the Dr. Bill's candy maple syrup, using that in the dressing for the salads, which is like off the chain. It's the bomb here for salad dressing stuff. And of course, people know I've done really unique creations all with that syrup, and that's just because I make it my own. And I think that's, you know, with enough experience and enough time, I think you can probably do it with anything you want. But with that said, have you had any epic fails? I mean, people always ask me, like, you know, what was your epic fail, or what was the first fail when you did like barbecue? What do you remember, any like epic fails that just stick in your mind? Like, wow, that was really bad.
Yeah. I do. I was working for his family out in Old Meadow Road, Mr. and Mrs. Newman, and I was coming straight out of college school. They hired me to be the personal chef, man. And I've never made a souffle before. I've never ever made a souffle. And I mean, I got it down now, man, but I've never made a souffle. And
I've never done a souffle.
You never made one? I've
never made one.
I remember like it was yesterday. Now that you got me thinking, boy, you bring back a lot of memories, man. You something else. I made a Grand Marnier souffle, man, and that bad boy wouldn't rise, man. And I'm looking at that thing, I'm looking up, and then you got souffle, you got to time. You got to time it. Okay, the soup hit, the first course hit, second course hit, main course hit. When the main course hit, you got, okay, it's gonna take 15, 20 minutes to rise. And then when that thing walk out to the table, you want that bad boy stand up to attention because it's gonna come down a little bit, but you want to hit the table when it stand up to attention. So I had that bad boy time, and man, that thing would not rise to save my life, bro. Oh, shit. That thing, and I got like 6 people at the dinner table, man. It would not rise to save my life, and I'm sweating, and I'm like, what the heck do I do? So it didn't rise. So I made I heard of made some crepes, and I just made some crepes, put some fruit stuff in it, and I act like that was a hot sauce to go on top of it. Take the salt, and then I got away with it.
Did they know a souffle was coming? Did you say, "Oh, tonight's a souffle," and then they didn't get a souffle?
No, but I think on your feet. You got to think on your feet. I said, you know what? I told him, I was thinking to compliment the meal. I found these great Louisiana strawberries. They're in season now. It's perfect. He would just chocolate sauce, and they loved it. Oh, that's a great idea. I said, you got this. I said, you got the Grandmere flavor, and and I put the strawberries in there with a little cream. I sweetened up some cream cheese, put that in there, put it up, and then they took the spoon, dipped it in there, and then put the sauce on top. And put a bunch of powdered sugar on it, and they loved it.
Perfect.
And I'm in the back, I'm in the kitchen, I got away with that. Oh my God.
Well, we have actually a bunch of people on YouTube that are watching live, and one of the questions came up. I answered a question in the show. We had somebody ask, he's a barbecue man. He's actually in El Salvador, of all places, outside the United States. He asked, what was the most complicated food a celebrity has asked you to cook, and who was it?
I would say when I worked for The Rock, it wasn't that it was complicated. It was very detailed, So when I worked for The Rock, it was very, this had to be weighed out to the perfect spec, and so it was very detailed. So it had to be on, and then you had to think, okay, I'm cooking it here because I'll be in one area cooking, and say they're shooting 20, 30 minutes away. So when it's time for lunch, when it was time to eat, you got to think about it. And they pay attention to this stuff because they waited at the kitchen I was at. And then when they got on location, they re-weighted because he had to have a certain amount of protein and stuff like that.
Whoa, really? Wow.
It's serious, man. The game is serious. So you had to think about shrinkage. Shrinkage from here to there and all that kind of stuff. So I would say, and it wasn't that it was just complicated. It was just very, very detailed. You had to think. You had to think about timing, temperature, how long it's going to take, who's driving, when are they going to serve it, how they going to reheat it. So, he likes this stuff mid-rare. So when they reheat it, how they going to reheat it, stuff like that. So it has to come up to temperature and it has to be perfect. Because if it ain't perfect, you don't hear about it.
Wow. So how many people were you serving at that event?
No, it's just him. Just
him?
Oh, no. They have I forgot what they call it. What do they call it? That feeds everybody else. And you just do
like catering, like a catering company.
But it's something I forgot. Airmark. I think it's Airmark. And I just deal with him.
So okay.
It's just very, very detailed, man. It's just very, and you got to be on. You know what I mean? You got to know how long the brown rice is going to take, and there's no such thing as waiting. You can't say, okay, it's coming. Okay, I'll fix it. Because everything you shoot movies, everything is time. Okay, we from this time to this time, at this time to this time. Okay, we got daylight at this time. We got a night scene. Okay, boom, it's going to rain at 2. We need a rain scene. And you got to be on point, man. So it's just very. I would say that's probably the most.
That's awesome. One of the things is I love your Instagram feed, and I'm pulling it up right now, and you got a great picture. You just posted this recently. This was the picture of, I think, the lamb shanks that you cooked.
Yeah.
And that looked delicious, and the sauce on it, it's just glistening. Tell us about that dish. Like, how did you cook your lamb shanks? What's that sauce you put on the end? Because you didn't really talk about the details. You just said, one of your most requested dishes. So hopefully when I come down to New Orleans, we're going to be cooking some lamb shanks, what I'm saying, brother. Right?
You ain't going to believe this, bro. I can't believe you asked me that. Check this out, man. This guy I know, you may know him, is called Ukulele J. His name's Ukulele J.
Yeah.
I heard about pellet smoker, but I ain't know nothing about no. I was like, man, pellet smoker, what the heck is a pellet smoker? That's some gimmick or something that apparently it's been around a while. Maybe I'm believing, I don't know. So he told me about this pellet smoker. So I've been playing with it and trying to figure it out. I had some lamb shanks. Excuse me, I had some lamb shanks. I said, huh. I wonder if I cold smoked. I cold smoked them lamb shanks for maybe 4 hours because they was a nice size. I cold smoked it for like 4 hours.
Nice.
And then I took them and I dredged them with some salt, pepper, some flour, salt, pepper. They were still raw now, but they had an amazing smoke flavor. Then I dredged them in some seasoned flour. Then I sit right here, matter of fact, and then I seared them off. Set them to the side. So in the same pan, I made I deglaze. I put a little flour in it because they had a little grease. Put a little flour, made a little roux, and then I put some beef broth in it, and I put some red. I had some red wine. I put some red wine in it, bay leaves, a little crushed tomatoes, and I put it in there. A little thyme. I put the shanks back in there, and I put them in the oven. Matter of fact, I had a TV show I had to go do. I put them in the oven at 250, and I covered them up for like 4.5, 5 hours, man.
In the oven?
Man, them things came off ukulele. Them things came off banging. You heard me? Banging, bro.
I had no idea you did that on a pellet smoker. That's awesome.
I was playing. And they had that smoke flavor that was off the chain, bro. And the flavors, and like I said, I didn't complicate it. I didn't want to, it was all about the smoke flavor. But man, I tell you, things were so good. I was in the kitchen acting silly, just taking pictures with it. Like, I can't believe this thing tastes like that. And that red wine, that beef broth, that smoke flavor,
That's good.
Down, that thyme, the bay leaf, the little crushed tomatoes. Man, it was nice, bro.
Smoke on, baby. That's what it's about. People, it's funny because in the barbecue world, a lot of people, they bag the pellet smokers. There's a lot of people that have them. I think they're actually the most popular cooker people are buying now because you can get that. And a lot of people complain, I don't get the smoke flavor. It's not as good as like wood and stuff. And, it's different, but I don't have that problem. I get incredible flavor. I do use only one type of pellets, and I think that they're much different than anybody else. We've talked about that before. And I think, I don't know if that's the difference or what, but, I cook lower temperature, which gets more smoke, right? Like, I think you said you were doing 200 on one of your cooks we were talking about. And that's perfect, for that smoking, or even like 180, just to get the meat really that good flavor. You get tons of smoke. You pump your smoker up to 350 or even like 275, and that smoke drops way down, but you still get the good flavor. But I'm really excited to hear that you actually got a pellet smoker because of me. I didn't realize that, but that's awesome.
I brought it because of you. Matter of fact, right before the interview, I went and did a workout this morning. I came back. And then I gotta do a chef in the dish this evening, so I was able to pick up my ingredients. And they had these brisket burgers. That's what I had for lunch. I smoked 2 brisket burgers, man.
Nice.
And that's what I ate before we came home, man. That was my lunch.
Really? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, the other thing that you cook that I love lobster, and it's not one of my favorites, but I ordered myself some lobster. I've got now, so I want to cook it this week. And I brought it up, and it's your lobster sauteed in tarragon and cognac butter. That sounds off the chain. I want to do this. So how did you do that? Because I got 2 nice lobster tails. I think I'm going to do some surf and turf. I've got some, I think I still got some 46-day dry-aged New York and some ribeye. I might pair that up with that. But I'm interested in the lobster. How'd you do that?
Man, okay, check this out now. Check this out. It's all in the sauce, baby. It's all in the sauce. Just take some water. Take the lobster. You got the whole lobster, just tails. You said
just the tails.
Do this for me, man. Do this for me. Take the tails. Take the skewer, soak the skewers, and then stick it in the end. You put it in a bowl of some boiling water. Maybe I don't know how big they are, which is not for long. Maybe you even want them like medium, cook like medium. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The stick is going to help it from not curling up because you want it to be long for pretty presentation. That's right there. Salted water. Now don't overcomplicate it. Now, boom, medium, mid-rare, medium, boom.
Okay.
Now you got the rest going. Take that out. Set that to the side. Now cognac. I had some cognac. I had some tarragon. You know what I mean? I had some tarragon. I made a compound butter. Took my butter out. Put out a little lemon juice. Put my butter out. Then I added all the stuff into it, and then I mixed it up. Compound butter, room temperature. Then I do all the ingredients in there, set that to the side. Then I put it in the refrigerator, let it get cold again. Then when it was time to cook it, all I did was took the lobster, put just a little oil, put a little sear on the lobster, took it out. So now I got that flavor in the pan. I took the flavor. I like flavor in my pans. So I got the flavor in the pan with a little oil. Then I came behind it with the butter. Then start melting the butter. Then, because you don't want to go too, you want it to be cold, so you don't want to go too fast to break. Then I put the lobster tails in there and I just started basting them and just letting them cook. Man, when I tell you, bro, this is just me praying. No, that was for a client. And this is just me just having fun. Because one thing about savory cooking, not to get off track, but one thing about savory cooking, man, you can do what you want, man. I tell everybody, unless you drop it on the floor and kick it and the dog runs away with it, you can't mess it up, man. You can just
They do that in restaurants, by the way, don't they? They drop it on the floor and kick it. I've seen that before.
Man, just play with it, have fun, man. Make it yours, man. Make it yours. And that's all I did. When I tell you, man, that thing was on point, man.
It looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing.
Think about it. Somebody walk, hey, we're going to make a cognac bunny. And they'll look at you like, man, what the heck? I ain't never heard of that. But once you put it in front of them, man, it was just, man, I was literally at the client's house. We had like some French bread, and I was taking the remains in the pan. And I'm in the kitchen just doing the size like this at the pan. That thing was so good, man.
That sounds great. Yeah, you're an incredible chef, personal chef, and you're doing a thing I know now online, which is it's the chef in the dish, right? You've been doing that for a while, right? Like last couple of years.
Oh, no, I've been in the dish, man. I was one of the first chefs that they picked up when they first started.
Oh, really? 2016.
2016, man, and I love being part of the Chef and Dish family, man. What it is a company out of Canada, man, named the Chef and Dish. The founder's name is Jen, and she's just an amazing woman. And she had this vision, and it just came to life. And then when I remember she called me, I remember like yesterday, when she called me, hey, how you doing? I'm not quite sure she heard about me. I got to ask her that. She told me before, I just forget. I heard about social media. I thought she was crazy. I was like, what? We're going to do what? Cook online? What? I'm like, man, Jay, I didn't know how to turn a computer on. I'm like, man, I don't even know how to do that. So I'm listening, okay, yeah, cool, whatever. And I forgot about it. I realized, I forgot about it. Well, then one day I pulled up to my house and there's this box. I'm talking about the box was big, man. And I'm like, did I order something? I don't think I ordered it on Amazon. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, I'm kind of nervous. So I go on the Bamboo and open it up, and it was a camera. It was all the stuff that you need.
Oh, she sent you all the video stuff?
And I was like, she's serious.
Wow.
Serious. Then we had a bunch of test runs and going through menus and execution and over and over and over. It was a lot, man. It was a lot. She was very detailed, but she made me so much of a better chef, man. She made me so much. The chef just made me so much organized and just more attention to videos, and I think I can do IT now. You know what I mean? Because like I said at the beginning, man, I ain't know how to turn the computer
Come on out, man. I'll put you to work. We got a lot of work in Silicon Valley, brother. Come on out.
So intimidated of the computer, man, and then I know about the Wi-Fi, the connection, how to do it if something fails, and da da da. Now I got it all figured out now. I'm not great, but I'm good.
Yeah, that's good.
And then we just grew, man. And we just grew, and it became fun. And what I like about working with the Chef Dish, the people that I get to touch and meet, I meet people from all over the world that Skype in with me to cook. We cook. We do jambalaya. We make barbecue shrimp. We make hurricanes, po' boys, gumbo, etouffees, pralines, pecan pie. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and they give you a platform to where we can make what we want. I mean, of course, you got to submit your menus.
Right, but you get to choose.
Huh?
You get to choose what you cook, and they don't dictate to you what to cook.
We'll say, okay, well, I would like to take that class, and it's just so much fun. And being from New Orleans and being able to share my culture, the food, the cuisine, talk about my city. My brother got a class an hour after I finished with you.
Jeez.
Talk about just New Orleans and just meeting new people and seeing people's smiles on their face. Or what I love is when someone that don't know how to make something, and then you give them the confidence. Because they say, oh, they was telling me, Gason, chef, you will make it look so easy. It's easy, man. I'm telling you. Don't complicate it. It's too easy, man. You know what I mean? And it's just it's so amazing, man. I recommend, not even just me. I'm not even trying to sit here and sell the chef in this. But man, I take classes with other chefs because we do team building exercises a couple times a month. And other chefs, a new chef. Oh, this is a serious company now. when another chef has a recipe, so the way we practice, so say I want to make, I don't know, alligator pork or something, I don't know. So I'll say, okay, I'll submit the class. The other chefs will come in and then we practice the class. And I'll say, okay, boom, do it. I've cooked so many cool things. I cooked with chefs from Thailand, Turkey, Spain, Italy,
Wow.
Hungary. It's just, and man, it's so cool. And I became so much of a better chef. It's unbelievable. And here I am thinking, I've been cooking almost 20 years, man. Here I am thinking I know everything. Man, you give another chef from another part of the world,
Oh
they
yeah.
was you'd be like, for real? You'd be like, what? You know what I mean? So that definitely made me a better chef, man.
How many
Definitely.
people are in a class when you do those the chef in the
We,
dish?
people, man, we have team, we have something called a multi-class to where I've done class up to 30 people, you know.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's different businesses, they will make something and hey, we'll come in. And we got a little format that we follow. And they come in and we just cook and we have fun and we build relationships and we we just try to teach you something. Definitely try to teach you something, but have fun along the way, man. You know what I mean? Definitely try to have fun along the way and make cooking very, very easy.
So
Because
if
not
people
that.
if people want to cook with you on the chef in the dish, do they just sign up with them and does it have a list of when you're cooking and what you're cooking, like in advance, or how does that work?
No, no. See, when you go to the website, is the chef in the dish. Just go www.thechefin dish, and it'll come up. It'll introduce the company, and then you just say, okay, Chef Gason, and all my classes pop up, or
Oh,
you can say chef from Thailand or Spain, Italy, France, whatever, blah, 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 and that chef will pop up, and then it say, okay, menu selection. So hey, I will cook with chef from New Orleans. I pop up and then it has my menu select, a little bio on me and my menu selections and stuff. Then you say, okay, I want to book them, and then you say, hey, then it's a calendar. Okay, he has this date open, this date open, this date open, this date open.
that's
And you pick,
awesome. Okay.
pick the date, and once you pick it, I get a text in my email. I get a text on my phone. Okay, someone just booked you. Boom, and then they even do a prep session to where someone will Skype in with you, show you like man you did, show you your camera angles, make sure you got all the proper ingredients. Chef is gonna come on at such and such time, and we do it and we have some fun.
That's awesome. That's a really good. That's kind of a hot thing with COVID, like the virtual cooking thing, and I think it's going to stay because people are so busy in their lives they can't drive somewhere or get out. And it's nice to have, things just to cook with somebody, and you can do it over Skype or Zoom or whatever, which is fantastic. So I got two more questions, and then I'm gonna let you go because I know you're a busy man. You got that big event going on today. What's the difference between and people I think get it confused Creole and Cajun cooking? That is not the same, correct?
Oh, need man, Creole Cajun cooking, man. That's like more your backwoods of Louisiana, the swamp areas, man. Cajuns are like French descendants that came down like in the 1700s, man. They came and they settled in the backwoods of Louisiana, man, and they just live off of the land. You know what I mean? Nothing's off limits. They live off of the land. Um,
Nutrat.
they got like nutria, wild boar, alligator, and then whatever you set that occasion feed a whole village, the whole city, community in one pot. And what you sit down at the table to eat is what they caught that day, and that's what you ate. You know what I mean? Because resources were very very limited back then, so they had to hunt and they had to grow their own stuff. And they had to hunt and whatever it is that they caught is what you ate. Now, and that's Cajun. So I would say Cajun more country cooking, living out there, and they create their own resources. Creole is more your Afro American, your Spanish, your French people, French that had money that settled here. I'm from New Orleans, so settled here in the city of New Orleans, and they had the Gulf of Mexico, Mississippi River, and they had all that to choose. They had all that to get all their product and stuff. All the seafood had the best seafood, had the best of the best. Then you had more course. You had first course, second course, third course. You had more resources to choose from. Then you had everything. Then everything that these different cultures that was able to contribute to the same dish. So like they say, gumbo the milk pot. They got so everything just like paella that's come from Spain, that's Spanish, and that's what we make jambalaya. So all those things come together. So it's more of a tomato-based thing, more upscale, more fine dining, and it's more like African American friends, like I said, and it's city eating. You know what I mean? More upscale.
Okay, good. So another question came from our YouTube viewers and also on Instagram. Somebody asked to ask you, what foods do you like to cook for yourself?
Oh man, you know what? People ask me that, man. I don't like to turn, people down. Man, I'm simple, man. I'm a steak guy. I love a mid ribeye steak.
Oh
I
yeah.
love ribeye steak. I love apple pie. I love anything strawberries. But man, me, I'm a steak guy. What people think that, oh, because I'm a chef. Well, I'm gonna say something all extravagant. Man, give me a good wagyu. Man, give me a ribeye steak, mid rare with horseradish sauce.
Oh yeah.
I'm I'm good. Yeah, I know I'm from New Orleans, man. And I'm gonna say something fancy seafood dish. Nah, man. I'm a steak dude. And I try to limit myself to maybe 2, 3 steaks a month because I can literally, bro, Jay, I can eat steak every day,
I could too.
man.
My wife yells at me. My wife wants me to eat more vegetables. I'm like, what are the vegetables? That's not a meal.
You messed it up because you introduced me to that pellet smoker, man. I could get a ribeye steak on that pellet smoker, man. Get that
Oh
nice
yeah.
smoke.
Hey, smoked apple pie, man. You got to do some smoked apple pie.
I like that. I like
It's good, man. It is. Smoked fruit, man. Well, smoked cheeses. We'll get you doing all sorts of stuff on that.
I did not think of that, Jay. Smoke some apple pie, get some apple, and smoke it. And is there rest? Have you heard of that before? Or you just made that
Well,
up.
no. It's something that I actually do. I did a. I was on a Pitmasters Chop Challenge in one of the groups that I'm in on Instagram, and I made it to the final three. And then of course I got chopped too, so we got something in common. But but I made it's on my feed. I don't know if the recipe's on my website. It might be ukulelejbarbecue.com. I did a smoked caramel apple. So I took an apple and I went out and put it on the smoker, and we made homemade caramel sauce, homemade marshmallow, and I cored out the apple. I put caramel inside of it. Then we did the marshmallow. I infused it with Angel's Envy bourbon. So I did a bourbon caramel cream kind of sauce. Then I went and smoked that. Then when I brought that in the house, I took some vodka because I had some funk ingredients. It was like vodka, marshmallow, and I think it was vodka, marshmallow, and maybe it was one of them. I know it was apple, vodka, marshmallow. So I did that, brought it in, and then I actually took some vodka. I lit it on fire to burn off kind of some of the alcohol. Then I did a whipped cream. We did a whipped cream on the bottom and then did the vodka on the bottom of that. And then I took the caramel and I drizzled it all over the top of that apple. It was really soft. You had the caramel with the marshmallow cream and then that bourbon infusion and then, of course, that vodka whipped cream on the bottom. Let me tell you, man, that was a made-up thing in my head because I had 60 seconds to make my dish with the three ingredients that Greg gave me. And then if we were in the top three, we had to cook it. So I had this idea and then I went and cooked it. Man, it was off the chain. That's like a dessert. That'll be a signature I'm gonna do for people is my smoked caramel apple dessert. And you could take that, make it into a pie, right? Take the pie out, do kind of the same thing with your crust, throw it in the smoker, and just let it cook on the smoker. Cast iron, whatever you want. It's phenomenal. You will love it.
You
So
see what talking with other people that are excited about food as much as you are, how you get great ideas. Thank you so much. You're gonna see that, man. I'm serious. Real
all right,
talk,
man.
bro.
All right, I love it. I watch your feed all the time. You do incredible stuff. And I got one more question that I research my guests and I like to pull out things about them that are kind of special. And one thing about you is, you do philanthropy and you got a big heart. And I know you've done some things for Breaking the Chains Foundation. I want to talk about that as we wrap up, how you got involved with that, what it is, and is there anything people can do to help with that foundation?
Man, Breaking Chains Foundation, man. Out of her name is Deborah Hopkins, man. She's an amazing woman, man. People with eating disorders, you know what I mean? And years ago, once again, like the chef did, years ago, they contacted me out, flew me out to California. We did this big event, and they brought me out there because they said I was very passionate and fun about food. It's about showing people with eating disorders that it's not food, because people think that eating disorders is the food. No, that's a mental illness. You know what I mean? It goes deeper than the food. So I'm the chef for Breaking the Chains that come in and just try to let people know food is not your enemy. Food is fun. Food is your friend. Food is cool. So I make food just very inviting and fun. And there's other ways to deal with this than taking it out, dealing with your mental illness and taking it out on the food. Because food ain't doing nothing wrong to you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Food really did. So me being the chef of Breaking the Chains, eating disorders, making food just fun and exciting. And I'm telling you, man, this gives me goosebumps, man. When I got involved with Breaking the Chains, you would not believe, I'm talking about people in my own circle that I did not know that dealt with eating disorders.
Wow.
Like, whoa, people just hated food. You know what I mean? Food is not your enemy. Food is your friend. Food is a gift from God, man. So not to be in love with food is not, it's not good. So different ways to there's different ways to deal with that, whatever the mental illness is that you're dealing with, and not take it out on the food. And my role for Bigger Change is just making food fun again, man. To let you know it's all right to eat this and it's all right to eat that. And food is fun, man. Food is definitely fun, man.
Yeah, that's great. And it's been awesome today. We could go forever, and I know you and I are going to be cooking and talking hopefully a lot when I get down to New Orleans later this year. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to get with obviously Dr. Bill's, hopefully Keto Maple Syrup together. And what's it's a small world. And coming up on April 25th is going to be somebody that I think you were with recently, Scott Green, who is the co-founder of Dat Sauce and Dat Ketchup. An absolutely fantastic guy, a huge supporter of Ukulele J Barbecue, and he is going to be on the show as well. So hopefully you can catch the show. I'll make sure I give you all the information. We'd love to have you on so you can be out there in the audience asking questions, and we'll whoop it up with Scott.
Scott Green's my hero, man. He's a good dude, man. Scott Green is an amazing man, and him let me be part of that sauce is just man.
Yeah, it was great. Well, you know what?
I want to give nothing away about the guy, man, because I want you to talk about it all in your interview. But, man, you want to talk about one hell of a man, that's a good dude.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm just meeting incredible people, and that's really, I'm blessed. And that's what I love doing on my Instagram and doing these interviews, is just meeting the people and having fun. No other agenda. I don't take money for any of the stuff I do. It's all about just the goodness of, meeting people and hopefully bringing some joy to somebody else with something new that I'm cooking and learning what I'm doing. So I want to thank you. Come on. And, now that you got your pellet smoker, can you give me a smoke on, baby?
You want me to say that?
Yeah, come on. Smoke on, baby. Let's see it.
Check this out, man. So, hey, because of Ukulele J, I got that pellet smoker. I'm in love with it, man. Smoke on, baby. You heard me?
Thanks a lot, man. You have a great afternoon. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And you are awesome, man. I can't wait to get down and see you, man, from the bottom of my heart. Love you, man. I'll be on your feed watching every day like I do. And you have a good afternoon, okay?
You good. Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks, man. Everybody, thanks for watching. And as usual, remember my Instagram feed, and you're going to see Chef Gason Nelson on there. Hopefully see us cooking later this year. So